Welcome to this explainer, because today we are flipping the script on AI. 47. I want you to just pause for a second and picture your browser window right now. You've got, 47 open tabs? We're talking PDFs of academic journals, half-read articles, data sets, formatting guidelines, the whole shebang, all running simultaneously while the dread of a looming deadline just sits heavy in your chest. This is the overwhelming, literal mental chaos of the modern research process. You are drowning in this sea of loose information, trying desperately to stitch it all together into a cohesive, bulletproof argument. And in this state of panic, what do most of us do? We reach for artificial intelligence as a lifeline. We paste our messy draft into a standard chatbot and just ask, hey, is this good? Which actually brings us to the core mystery of this entire explainer. Why does your AI keep telling you your work is great? Think about it. It reads your messy 47-tab-fueled draft and replies with these glowing phrases like, wow, this is a well-structured argument, or great job highlighting these points. But here is the severe underlying vulnerability in that dynamic. You are relying on a fundamentally polite machine. Standard AI models are literally programmed to be helpful and encouraging, which means they offer you false praise. They act like that supportive friend who just doesn't want to hurt your feelings. But your actual critics, the journal editors, your professors, your clients, they do not care about your feelings. They are absolutely going to tear the work apart looking for logical errors. So to solve this problem, you just can't use a standard chatbot. You need source-grounded AI, or also known as RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is the definitive cure for those generic AI hallucinations we all know about. Tools like NotebookLM utilize this exact technology. See, instead of asking the AI to pull from the entire unfiltered internet where, let's be honest, it's just going to make things up to please you, you restrict the AI to a contained context window. You upload your specific documents, your 47 PDFs, your draft. By forcing the AI to only look at what you provide, you guarantee that its feedback is based strictly on verifiable facts from your own curated research. And doing this requires a massive paradigm shift. Over on one side, you have traditional AI, right? That's your polite co-author giving generic feedback and, hallucinating facts. But on the other side, you have grounded AI. This is your skeptical peer reviewer, delivering hard, fact-based critiques. We've absolutely got to stop treating AI as this polite ghostwriter that just does the work for us. Instead, the research suggests we need to weaponize it, turn it into a cynical, brutal reviewer. It's a huge psychological shift. You have to actually want your work to be attacked. Because honestly, it's the only way to find that needle in the haystack of logical errors before a human evaluator does. Now, before we really dive into the brutal interrogation tactics, the sources outline a smart research workflow. It's basically a 5-step journey. Gather, orient, query, synthesize, and produce. This explainer is going to walk you through exactly how to execute this, taking you all the way from the raw chaos of those loose PDFs to a totally bulletproof final draft. Okay, so when you're deep in those orient and query phases, just staring at text causes severe fatigue. We've all been there. To prevent a massive drop-off in focus, grounded AI tools now offer what the sources call the sensory shift. This is cool. Features like audio overviews actually turn your documents into an engaging, podcast-style audio summary generated entirely by AI. And mind maps, they visually diagram the connections between your sources. By shifting the format away from pure text and moving into audio and visual representations, you completely bypass reading fatigue. Plus, you can spot structural flaws in your research from like a 10,000-foot view. All right, the source material lays out a really specific tactical blueprint. Here are your 5 critical strategies for grounded interrogation. 1. Ground the AI. 2. Use inline citations. 3. Identify research gaps. 4. Synthesize contradictions. And 5. Perform a pre-writing interrogation. Think of this as your ultimate gap-hunting toolkit. We're going to break down exactly how to execute these strategies using highly specific engineered prompts, and you are going to use these prompts to completely shatter the AI's default programming. Strategy number 1, the cynical expert. Here is the prompt. Critique this article as if you are a cynical industry expert with 20 years of experience. Find the top 3 weaknesses. Seriously, dictate this exact prompt the next time you upload a draft. You are intentionally forcing the AI out of its nice persona. By explicitly telling it to be cynical and demanding exactly 3 weaknesses, you remove its ability to give you that polite pat on the back. You are commanding brutal honesty based exclusively on the documents in your grounded context window. Strategy 2 targets your blind spots. Ask it this: what emotional assumptions am I making that could cause this proposal to fail? The harsh reality here, and I say this with a bit of a cynical edge myself, is that authors are always way too close to their own work. You know what you mean to say, so your brain just fills in the logical gaps automatically. But guess what? The reader's brain will not do that. This prompt is designed to uncover your hidden biases. It forces the AI to look at the raw data you uploaded, compare it to your draft, and boldly point out where you're relying on hope, emotion, or unstated assumptions rather than hard, grounded facts.
Moving on to strategy 3. This requires you to assign specific, critical roles. The prompt is, act as a skeptical peer reviewer looking to reject this manuscript. Listen, never just ask an AI for generic feedback. Feedback is weak. Feedback gets you a boring generic summary. Instead, you want to turn the AI into a hostile gatekeeper. If you're writing an academic paper, tell it to be the reviewer who actively wants to reject it. If you're writing a business pitch, tell it to be an investor who thinks your valuation is an absolute joke. By giving it this hostile persona, the AI will actively hunt down the fatal flaws in your methodology.
Next up is the devil's advocate prompt. I am arguing for position X. Write a 300-word counter-argument attacking my weakest points. This is a brutal pressure test for your arguments. Before you finalize your position, you are forcing the grounded AI to formulate the exact argument your fiercest human critic is going to use against you. By generating this 300-word attack, it exposes the precise weaknesses in your logic long before anyone else ever has the chance to see them. And the best part? You can then preemptively rewrite your draft to crush that counter-argument before it's even made.
But remember, the process doesn't just stop after one prompt. The sources heavily emphasize the need to iterate and dialogue. You have to treat this entire process as a rigorous, back-and-forth, hostile interrogation. Never, ever take the AI's first answer as the final word. If the AI points out a weakness, you ask it, hey, based on my uploaded sources, what specific data point proves that weakness? You argue with it. You push back. You use this hostile dialogue to continuously sharpen the narrative and really refine your thinking.
As you approach the end of your workflow, you're going to execute the pre-writing interrogation. The prompt is, what questions does this draft raise that it does not answer? This utilizes the gap hunter methodology. Look, even a brilliantly argued draft might accidentally open a can of worms that it totally fails to address. This prompt ensures your manuscript covers all underexplored areas. It checks to make sure you haven't left any loose threads hanging that a human reviewer will instantly pull on to unravel your entire premise. So when the AI inevitably attacks your work and points out all these gaps and contradictions, how do you know it's not just hallucinating again? Well, that brings us to synthesizing contradictions by verifying the attack. Because you are using a source-grounded AI with a contained context window, the AI will actually provide inline citations for its critiques. When the AI says your claim is weak, you literally click the citation number, and it takes you to the exact paragraph in your uploaded 47 PDFs that destroys your claim. It verifies exactly which part of the literature represents a point of tension, and that allows you to fix it with absolute pinpoint accuracy. The smartest researchers out there aren't necessarily the ones who possess the most data. They are the ones who deliberately seek out their own mistakes first. The ultimate payoff of this flipped methodology is a bulletproof paper, a flawless pitch, or a masterful proposal. So, I'm going to leave you with this question to permanently shift your